Now he played along instead. "It's doing really great, Mr. Henderson." "They make you a pitcher yet? Otherwise I'll come after Coach Ronald. I know how to deal with him, you know." "Yes, I know," Tim said with a smile. "They're selling cookies," Mrs. Henderson said to her husband. "Let me go grab my wallet." Mrs. Henderson went inside for just a second, then returned with a bill in her hand. "Here you go, boys. Here's $1. Mrs. Henderson handed him the bill, then helped herself to one cookie, which she ate in front of them. "Yum," she said, and pretended to rub her stomach. "Now you boys better head on home now," Mr. Henderson said, and looked up at the sky. "There's a thunderstorm coming. Looks like a big one." Chapter 2. "One stinking $1, Damien groaned when they walked out of the Hendersons' driveway. Tim felt the despair as well. It didn't look good for them. They both knew if they couldn't pay for the trip, then they would have to go be with a fifth-grade class for the entire day, while the rest of their grade was in St. Augustine. It had happened to Chad, Damien's brother, last year, and he had ended up having to help their teacher, Mrs. Barlow, all day, following her around and holding her books and papers while she squeezed his cheeks and leaned in over him so he could look down her cleavage at her long, wrinkled breasts, telling him he was going to be such a handsome man one day, just like his father. Tim looked up at the sky behind their house. The black cloud had grown into a giant mushroom, looking like it was going to squash his home. "We should go home," Tim said. At this time of year, the thunderstorms grew and moved rapidly. You had to be very aware of what they on the radio called pop-up storms. "It's still far away. We have a little time before it hits us," Damien said. "We can make it to one more house. How about that one? It looks like there's someone home. Look at the old car in the driveway." Tim looked at the house, then at the light blue four-door sedan, a 1955 Cadillac that he had looked at all of his childhood, but never seen leave the driveway. He swallowed hard. Maybe we should try another one." "No, this one is the only one with a car parked in the driveway besides yours. There is definitely someone home here. Come on." Tim hesitated. He had always been terrified of the old lady living across the street from him. He had never seen her, but he knew she lived there, and he had a feeling she kept an eye on everything that went on in the small neighborhood, as he would always see her curtain move when people were in the street, and often he would spot an old, long, crooked finger holding it, and sometimes, only sometimes, he would spot her very yellow eyes peeking out. But he wasn't sure if it was her or maybe her cat. Tim didn't really know what it was about this woman that scared him so, but somehow he had always kept far away from her house. When riding his bike around the cul-de-sac, he would always go on the other side of the road and never go close to her house. There was just something about it that gave him the chills. Maybe it was the fact that he had never seen the woman outside her house, and he kept picturing her as this old witch who would drag you inside her house and cook you for dinner. Like in that old story of Hansel and Gretel, she would keep him in a cage and feed him till he was about to burst, then cook him in the oven. That was what he was afraid of, old fairy tales. "It's just nonsense, nothing but old stories made to scare kids from talking to strangers. You're too old for that now, Tim." Still, he couldn't shake his fear when gazing upon the house. His stepdad, Sam, kept telling him to face his fears, to grow up and be a man. He was sick of how his mother always treated him like a baby. "He'll never be able to take care of himself if you keep doing everything for him," he would say. Tim liked it when his mother babied him, but he also knew that Sam was right. At some point, he needed to be a man. Tim looked up to Sam a lot, even though he often yelled at his mother. Sam was a real man. He could fix cars like any car, no matter what was wrong with it. That was such a cool thing to be able to do, Tim often thought. He wanted to learn, but he never dared to ask his stepdad if he would teach him. At least, not yet. "You comin'?" Damien asked, and walked up.